I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome, straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Oh, yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it. America's finest right there.
America's Finest, the United States Army Barbershop Quartet, performing at the Barbershop Quartet Convention in 2015. We appreciate being able to broadcast the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem to you every day, as we do here on Emergency Management Associates. I want to welcome everybody here. My name is Ron Tyler. I'm the president and owner of Emergency Management Associates. I take great pleasure in bringing you this program. I take great pleasure in making sure all of you have the things that you need for emergencies. That's the primary mission of this show. Tonight, later, we're going to be talking about preparedness. I've got a list that I'm going to share with you. I would hope that you would take notes. When we get to that point in the program, I would hope that you take notes, because this, what we have to say and share with you, is very, 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 very important. Okay? I can't emphasize that enough. It's very important. Now, before I get going here, I want to talk about this man. I met this man when he was just a young man. He died Saturday evening as a result of a bad guy that pulled up beside his patrol car just outside the sheriff's department in Lancaster, Palmdale, California. His name, Ryan Klinkenbrummer. From the very early days of his life, he wanted to become a cop. His dad was a police officer with the LA Sheriff's Office. His grandfather was a police officer with the LA Sheriff's Office. His dad retired as a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office. Deputy Ryan Klinkenbrummer, I'm sorry, I blew his name there. He was a sergeant. He was a training officer with the sheriff's office. A training officer, guys, is someone who is very well trained, who is a leader in his department. Why am I talking about this? Because, folks, I was a cop. I went through a lot of things and I should not even be here. Unfortunately, Deputy Klingenbrummer didn't make it that long. He was 30 years old. 4 days prior to him being gunned down, he asked a woman to marry him. He became engaged 4 days earlier. At approximately 6 p.m. Saturday evening, Deputy Klingenbrummer was shot and killed just outside the sheriff's office there in Palmdale in what appears to be an ambush shooting. He was killed while sitting in his patrol car. Our deepest condolences go out to the LA Sheriff's Office and their family of Deputy Klingenbrummer. Rest in peace, Deputy Klingenbrummer. The suspect and shooter remained on the loose yesterday, but he was arrested today. There was a little bit of an event that happened before he was arrested, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. Deputy Ryan Klingenbrummer, a 30-year-old field training officer, was shot Saturday just outside the Palmdale Sheriff's Station at the corner of Sierra Highway and Avenue Q. A manhunt was in progress Saturday night, all day yesterday until this afternoon, or I should say this morning, when the suspect was caught. The suspect will be found, Sheriff Luna said Saturday. He was asking for the public's help in finding the suspect. The suspect has been found, but Sheriff Luna is still asking for the people's support and help in bringing forth more and more evidence that the sheriff is bringing out to help convict this man. The Sheriff Luna has also talked with the Los Angeles County District Prosecutor's Office, and they said that they're going to go after this man and anyone else that may be affiliated with him. Sheriff Luna said a Good Samaritan found Deputy Klingenbrummer unconscious inside his vehicle. Klingenbrummer was quickly rushed to Antelope Valley Medical Center, Lancaster, where he later died. He'd been working as a field training officer, training new police officers for the past year and a half. Not just anyone becomes a field training officer. It's usually the best of the best, according to Sheriff Luna. I was a field training officer. Klingenbrummer apparently came from a law enforcement family. Like I said, his grandfather and his father both worked for the LA Sheriff's Office. Service is running through their veins, and it's so unfair. Klingenbrummer said that he embodied the values of bravery, selflessness, and absolute commitment to justice. Sheriff Luna said that he had just celebrated his engagement with his fiancée just 4 days before he was shot and killed. Saturday night, a procession from the hospital briefly shut down local highways and freeways as deputies escorted his remains to the LA coroner's office. That's bad enough. This man was killed by a bad guy who's now been arrested. But we've also lost another member of our law enforcement family, this time here in North Carolina. I'm sad to report that another deputy has been killed as of September 9th in the line of duty vehicle crash here in North Carolina. This morning, Governor of North Carolina lowered all the flags to half staff throughout the state until tomorrow evening. Forsyth County Deputy Austin Smith Rudelhuber was killed in the line of duty crash on September 9th. He was on his way to work at about 5:30 in the morning. Sheriff Kimbrough released the following statement early Saturday morning. It is with a heavy heart that we share the news of the passing of one of our own. Deputy Sheriff Austin Rudelhuber was killed the morning of September 9th in a fatal car crash. We are asking prayers for the Rudelhuber family as well as for the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office family. Together we stand, and together we will get through this, and with the support from our community. Rudelhuber served with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office since 2021 in the Field Services Division and was also a field training officer. He previously had served as a canine officer for Davidson County Sheriff's Office, where he served more than 3 years there. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office released the following statement. It is with sincere sadness that we have learned of the loss of Forsyth County Sheriff's Office Deputy Rudelhuber. In these days, we never understand why the path we are on ends and leads us in another direction. Our thoughts and many prayers go out to the family of Deputy Austin Smith Rudelhuber, as well as his friends, colleagues, and family who shared many precious memories. Rest in peace. You are a hero, and will always and forever be remembered as one. Fly high, dear friend. The Winston-Salem Police Department, that also works in the county, expressed their condolences as well. Our heartfelt condolences to the family, both blood and blue, of the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office as they grieve the loss of one of their own this morning. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family of this deputy and to the deputies and officers who witnessed and rendered aid when this tragedy occurred to their brother in blue. Rest easy, brother. We have the watch from here. Rudelhuber served and was a military veteran in the United States Army for 6 years. He was also an active member of the U.S. Army Reserve Program. State troopers in North Carolina said William Benton, 24, of Lexington, North Carolina, was driving a box truck southbound on North Carolina 150, while Rudelhuber was driving a marked Forsyth County Sheriff's Office patrol vehicle northbound on North Carolina 150. The box truck went left of the center line and collided head-on with Rudelhuber and his police car. Benton is being charged with misdemeanor death by motor vehicle, reckless driving, and driving left of center. Services will be tomorrow here in North Carolina for Deputy Rudelhuber, and they will be held tomorrow during the day. Governor Roy Cooper said today, I am saddened to hear of the tragic loss of Deputy Sheriff Austin Smith Rudelhuber. He served North Carolina and the Forsyth County community with distinction, and our prayers are with his family and friends during this most difficult time. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office has organized a fundraiser on GoFundMe to support the Rudelhuber family. Rest in peace, gentlemen. God be with you till we meet again. Thank you for your service. Now, I've got a bunch of things I need to talk to you about besides police work. There are a lot of things going on that I think you need to hear about, okay? I'm going to play a video for you. A lawsuit has been filed in Maui about the Maui fires.
So I'm with attorney Mike Yoder, who's decided to file a lawsuit in light of some of these revelations. Mike, what do you intend to do?
The first and most important thing is just so people in Hawaii and Lahaina understand that what we're trying to do is ensure that the land that they are so sincere about and that they care so much about isn't taken from them a second time. A lot of the animosity and hostility is understandable based on the history and the culture that is very deeply rooted in Hawaii. But if we don't have the freedom of the press, we don't have the freedom of speech, and people are kept in the dark as to what the government's doing and what is going on, and there's no way to ever have a people-led or people-controlled society. So the first step we're going to take down is the suppression of electronic media and make sure people are able to speak freely. Second step is to take out the criminal provisions of people exercising their rights that are guaranteed under both the U.S. Constitution and the Hawaiian Constitution.
And this is the statute, the revised statute that we've been hearing about?
Revised statute 127A-13 is where the provisions are. They're criminalizing it under section 29.
And if people want to support you, how can they do that?
You guys can go to MauiLegalPreservationFund.org. I'm not taking $1 from any of the people here. I'm representing them entirely for free. I'm also not doing it on contingency. There's nothing that's coming out of these people's pockets. It's mainly to preserve and protect their land, and we're just trying to make sure that the government is kept in check. Otherwise, they will go unhinged.
Okay? So a federal lawsuit has been filed in the Maui court system. A federal lawsuit to rein in the governor, Josh Green, and Mayor Bison, and Police Chief John Pelletier. Big, huge lawsuit going on now. We hope to bring down what the government has put into place, putting free speech back into force. Instead of being arrested for being out there along the roadways of West Maui and Lahaina, nobody's allowed to be there. Something you might not know, maybe you do. I want to talk about that for a minute. According to my sources, and I'm still digging on this, but I have enough information to tell you what I know. According to my sources, FEMA people are out there in the ruins of West Maui and Lahaina. And they're taking samples, large amounts of soil samples, including possibly samples of bodies that were burned to unrecognizable crisp. They're out there collecting this information, and it's going to be sent to the mainland unless this is stopped. My sources also tell me that they're going to bulldoze that entire fire area, bulldoze it out down a total of 6 inches of ground, and send that to the mainland as well. Okay? Police have been stopping citizens that live in Lahaina still, their homes untouched by the fire, and the police are not even letting those people in. They're not letting families in as well. They let families in for a very short time, and they were being watched by law enforcement. I remember telling you all the story of a couple that went to their place where their house had been, and they found the remains of the body of their 15-year-old son, clutching the body of his dog. The father picked up the son's and dog's body and took him to the police department to be identified and then held for a funeral. And I understand that funeral was done. But it's too bad after that people were not let into their property. They sealed it off. They put up fences to keep the people out. I can understand the fences going up to a certain extent, keeping people that didn't belong there out. But if people could prove who they were and prove that they had homes in that area, they should be allowed in. I still believe that there are people that still have not been accounted for. People that have not been accounted for. And those families have every right to account for their loved ones. I also understand culture. Culture is a big thing in Hawaii, and now especially in Maui. Lahaina was the capital of the Hawaiian government until it became a state in 1950. Lahaina was the capital. There's a lot of history in Lahaina, and now it is no more. Everything's been burned down. The public that lives there and used to live there should still have a voice on how that area is going to be restored in whatever form. Instead of having the government tell everyone this is what's going to happen. Now, as I told you before, just about a week prior to this fire, Governor Green, in his ambition possibly, and I think he knew what was going on, signed an order that said if that area ever was destroyed by natural elements, a wildfire, natural causes, that the developers could come in and put up condominiums and other property there and do what they wanted to bring Maui back. That should not be the way it is done. The people that live there, the people that work there, have every right to restore what they have there. And Governor Green and Mayor Bisson and Police Chief John Pelletier, get out of the way. Chief Pelletier, you're violating the law, and you have violated the law since day one of this fire. Refusing to allow residents that were trying to escape the flames from leaving the area. Chief Pelletier, that was your first mistake. Hundreds of people have died because of your wrongful order. Some people violated your order and either rode bicycles around the roadblock or ran for their lives, leaving their cars and everything behind. Then you block it off after the fire. Yes, Lahaina and West Maui are crime scenes. I totally understand that. But Mr. Pelletier, I don't believe you have the right to be in the job that you are in. You should resign, and I've called for your resignation and Mayor Bisson's resignation already. And I may also call for Josh Green's resignation from governor as well. Now, I want to play another video for you that I believe you need to see. This again is Eric West. I played other episodes of Eric West videos here in the past. This is just over 3 minutes. Please watch this. This is important.
My name's Jeffrey Stephen of the House of Jarrett. Now you put a face with a name. I am the one that sues this group, and I'm holding you accountable. And the reason being, legislation will not bring back the dead nor the harm. There are hundreds of people that are not allowed onto the property except strangers to the EPA are sifting through their sacred property and sacred ground, and they are not being investigated. This same material is then removed from the site and supposedly being sent to the mainland. That should be of high concern to you, because if this chamber, who addressed this same issue in 2018, is allowing people from out of our country, the nation of Hawaii or the state of Hawaii, to abscond this information, because I guarantee you, none of you know exactly what's responsible for this fire. None of you do. And because of that, it's a crime scene. And if it's a crime scene and they're removing the product or spraying product on it, the EPA spraying product on it, and then they're removing product from it, you don't know if it's an accelerant from chemtrails, whatever those things are, or if it was malfeasance by the electrical department, Hawaii Electric, Maui Electric, same company, or if it's malfeasance by maladministration, because I, as a builder, I'm licensed in electrical, plumbing, general contracting. I'm licensed to remove asbestos, toxic metals, and lead. And I can guarantee you, I have seen pictures of these people doing their thing, and they are not in hazmat suits that qualify for them to remove lead from a house, let alone toxic waste. Yet they are. You don't know what is going on. And they're basically, because of that, it's a crime scene, and they are manipulating, taking material from it. Under Title 18 USC 4, malfeasance and a form of fraud. You now know that this has gone on, and because of that, you must do an estoppel immediately so you can have a true investigation from outside sources that are not from someone that, whether it's a directed energy weapon or chemicals coming down or the electrical department not having the correct size poles up, or the administration not demanding that it's done right, or this group not demanding it's done right. You have a responsibility. Not just to me. I come in the name of Yeshua. You have a responsibility before God. You're going to all account before a living God. And trust me, you see the scar on my face? I died at the age of 15 months. I drowned at the age of 3. I've had other things that have happened. I know the other side exists. So please, for the children's sake that did not get to speak because they were incinerated, investigate this whole thing. Have an estoppel, go in immediately, take information out so you can find out exactly who, what, and how it actually happened, so it doesn't happen again.
Okay? He's calling for what they call an estoppel, which means cease and desist. Again, he's talking about United States Code Title 18, this time Section 4. Fraud. Fraud. A few weeks ago, I also called for people to be arrested for violation of United States Code Title 18, Section 242. I stand by that. Chief Pelletier, Mayor Bisson, and Governor Green are in violation of United States Code Title 18, Section 242. And they're doing exactly what this gentleman is saying. And these people need to be stopped. They need to be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Carr saying, why Oprah? Oprah got involved, stuck her nose into this. And at first I thought it might be a good thing. But knowing what I know now, I don't believe it's actually just out of her good-natured heart. And I am kind of choking that back. She and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have gotten together and they put out $5 million apiece for a total of $10 million to give everyone who lived there at least $1,200 every month to help them get back on their feet. Oprah and Mr. Johnson were also asking for other people, other citizens of Hawaii or citizens of this country or citizens around the world. to contribute to their fund. To contribute to their fund to help these people get by. I'm hoping that some of that money has gone out to those people. My assessment of it is some of it has reached the people of Hawaii, the victims. But I don't believe all of them have been reached because of political red tape. Most of it is political red tape. So yes, there are still people that are hurting. These people will hurt for a very long time, maybe years and years, or till the end of their lives. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. What has been going on here is politics gone bad. Trying to turn Maui into a 15-minute electric city. Everything electrical vehicles, electrical everything. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Number one, the electrical vehicles are very expensive. Just the one battery. Sometimes the cars have multiple batteries. One electrical battery to power these cars costs $5,000. $5,000 for one battery. Some of them have multiple batteries. Number two, there are not sufficient power stations to charge those batteries on those cars. Not in Hawaii and not in the mainland or anywhere else in this world. The elites of this world are causing this to happen. Biden said by 2035 he doesn't want to see any gasoline-powered vehicles at all being sold. Meaning he's going to take all of our cars, all of our trucks, everything off the road, and the only people that will have the opportunity to drive will be those people with electrical vehicles, battery-operated vehicles. It's a bunch of crap. It's not even workable. It's not workable. Okay? I've done a lot of investigation on this. I'm a cop. Once a cop, always a cop. I'm not active duty cop. I don't wear a uniform anymore. I'm retired. But once a cop, always a cop. I'm an investigator. And I'm still doing my share of investigating on this and a lot of other things. One thing I know is that the people that are involved in this in Hawaii are also people that are involved with this here in the mainland and all over the world. They want their one world government, period. And they don't care who they trample on or who gets in their way. Okay? They don't. People with money. People with money. Dennis N says, I wonder how they go through water, maybe a flood or being in a flood. Yeah. Yeah. But the Lord did not say that he would make another flood. He in fact said that there would be no more flood. There would be fire. And we've seen a lot of fires going on. Now I think the Maui fire was set. Purposely set. And I bet I'm right. I bet I'm right. Juby Joe says allegedly heard that the military rolled in when the smoke cleared and gathered the children, allegedly. Are you sure? And this source said they're safe. I don't believe that. The military did not go in until after the fire was out. The military did not go in until the fire was out. Okay? So that theory's out there. Okay? The military didn't pick up any children and take them anywhere. But where did the school buses go? I have yet to see even one picture of a distressed school bus that had been burned down to the ground. I've seen fire trucks burned down to the ground. I've seen cars burned down to the ground, melted. But I have yet to see one bus. There's not been one bus that was melted to the ground. Why? Where are those kids that were at school earlier? All we know is school was let out. And if that's the case, the children were home where they were at in the fire area. The government of Hawaii, from the governor down to the Mayor Bisson of Maui and Police Chief John Pelletier, have only said that they've accounted for a total of 115 people. 115 victims who passed away. Last week, it was said that there was 96 victims. Really? Only 96 when the previous total was 115? Who's lying now? Who is lying? There's too much going on here. They can't even keep their story straight. As I said, and I reported at least twice on this before, there are 189 bodies that washed up on a nearby island called Lanai, north and west of Maui. 189 people that washed ashore there that are dead on the shore of Lanai. 189 victims there. 700 victims that are in the morgue at the Maui hospital. Literally shutting the morgue down. There were so many bodies, guys, that the police department brought in 9, count them, 9 refrigerator trailers. Trailers like you see out on the highways. 9 trailers where each of those trailers can contain 40 bodies. 360 people in those refrigerated trailers. 700 people at the Maui morgue. 189 people over on Lanai. Now we're talking almost 1,200 people there. I'm going to ask again, where are our children? Where are our children? I'm going to continue to answer this until we get real facts, real truthful answers. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm not going to continue to be lied to. They can continue to try, but I'm going to hound them with everything I've got. Not just with this program, but I'm going to hound them, and I have been hounding them. John Pelletier won't even take my calls anymore. Yeah, he won't even take my calls. Too bad. Too bad. Where are the children? That should be our mantra. Where are the children? We should never let that up. I don't trust Oprah any further than I can throw her, which ain't very far. I've heard my share of stuff that she's been involved with. If that's the case, she can't be trusted. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think he probably is an honest guy. I'm not hearing things about like I'm hearing from Oprah. I don't trust the governor of Hawaii. I just don't trust Mayor Bisson at all. And neither should they who live there. Okay? Shouldn't be trusted, period. Before I was a cop, I was a volunteer firefighter. I learned a lot about fires. When I was a cop, I also assisted firefighters at various places. And we talked about some of those fires on these programs in the past 4.5 years. Yeah, I've been doing this 4.5 years now. April next year will be 5. So I've been around the block a few times. Folks, I believe in preparedness. That's why we started this channel 4.5 years ago. Emergencies, earthquakes, tornadoes, fires, floods, hurricanes, shootings, you name it, we talk about it here. When people's lives are in danger, we're going to be here. In the past, we've talked about fires and explosions at chemical factories, at gasoline depots, all over the country. We've talked about a lot of things throughout these days of this program, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, there are a few things I want to talk to you about as well, and I would ask you folks to stay here with us until we finish this. I believe it's absolutely necessary that we know what's going on around us. Okay? First up, I'm going to bring up the USGS map here. As you see, there's one earthquake just south of Japan and north of Taiwan. North of Japan, I'm sorry, south of Japan, north of Taiwan. Folks, this one's important. This is the biggest earthquake of the day. Came out as a 6.5, they downgraded to a 6.3. It's in the Ryukyu Islands here. There's a bunch of tiny islands between Japan and Taiwan. This is south of Japan in what they call the Ryukyu Islands. Okay? 112 miles north of Harare, Japan. Also north of there in the Ryukyu Islands, here we have a 4.7. Oh, before I go on, this 6.3, it's 114 miles deep. Somewhat of a deep earthquake. It's down in the asthenosphere with the plastic magma below the crust of the earth that we walk on. This earthquake north of there, a 4.7 moderate earthquake. They call 4s light. 4s are not light anything. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here. 27 miles east-northeast of Tatsugo, Japan. 22 miles deep. Then we go over here, okay? These are in the Izu Islands here. This is a 4.5 magnitude earthquake in the Izu Islands, 275 miles deep. We go north. This is near Ohana, Japan. Ohama, Japan. O-H, I'm sorry, not O-H. O-Y-A-M-A. Oyama, Japan. A 4.1 moderate earthquake. 98 miles south of Oyama, Japan. Okay? Notice where these earthquakes are. They're right next to that huge trench, the Mariana Trench here. Then going over here to North Honshu. North Honshu. Just barely off the coast of Honshu here, guys, we have another 5.3 earthquake. Why does this matter? It's just barely off the coast of Japan. That's why it matters. It's a large earthquake, a 5.5. 5.5, very large earthquake. Anything 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. These earthquakes can do damage. This was out in the ocean, as was the 6.3 just north of Taiwan and south of Kyoto down there in the Ryukyu Islands. Some of the stress of this earthquake off the coast of Honshu today, 5.5. Some of that seismic energy was absorbed by the water around it, but not all of it. Not all of it. It was only 12 miles northeast of Onagawa. Oh, well, I can't even say these Japanese names. Onagawa-cho, Japan. Onagawa-cho, Japan, right here. Good-sized, thriving harbor city of Japan. Just northeast of Ogawa-cho, Japan. A 5.5 earthquake. 46 miles deep. Okay? And we go north. Now, folks, I'm not just showing you these earthquakes to beat my gums here. This is important. And there are actually more earthquakes than they're showing here. I've proven that fact before. USGS will never come and become clean of what's actually going on because they don't want people knowing it. Heaven forbid that we have the data we need to make decisions in our lives. Heaven forbid. Over here to the north of Japan here, north of the Kuril Islands, is Kamchatka Peninsula. Kamchatka Peninsula, we have a 4.6 here. This is 58 miles southeast of Milkovo, Russia. Okay? I want you to know where these earthquakes are. It's in a volcanic range here, right? Right next to a volcano. Right next to a volcano. There are 5 volcanoes here on Kamchatka Peninsula that are active volcanoes that have, during the past 6 months to a year earlier, been throwing lava outside of the volcanoes. Just off the coast of Kamchatka, central Kamchatka Peninsula, is this earthquake here. It's over on the western side of the Aleutian Islands fault zone, on the fault, on the earthquake superhighway here. This is a 4.5 moderate quake. This is 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Okay? It's 100 miles south. I'm not even going to go there. USGS can eat my shorts. They can't even tell us exactly where that earthquake is. It's offshore from Kamchatka Peninsula, over in the Aleutian Islands. Then we go over here to the near central Aleutian Islands area, in the Andronov Islands here. This is a 3.8 earthquake. A 3.8 earthquake. There are minor earthquakes all over this thing. Minor earthquakes and even microquakes all over this area. Heaven forbid USGS would tell us about it. Going further north and east, this is offshore from Perryville, Alaska. Offshore from Perryville. This is a small 3.2 earthquake. 23 miles deep. And as you can see, there are a lot of other earthquakes over here in south central Alaska. A ton of earthquakes and tremors. Okay? What do we have here? Old Ililama volcano. We've been having a lot of swarms here at Old Ililama volcano, but now the swarms have died down. All we have here is a 1.0 tremor. Over here near the coast, south of Old Ililama, this is a 1.5. Things have calmed down. Up here to the north, this is a 1.6. It's amazing. This is amazing to me. This is 1.6 tremor. USGS has this Kodiak Island region. There's Kodiak Island, nowhere near that other tremor here. Nowhere near that other tremor. There's a huge body of water here separating Kodiak Island from this volcano tremor here. Kodiak Island. We have the Cook Inlet here. This is the Cook Inlet, this body of water between the peninsula of Alaska and Kodiak Island. Over on Kodiak Island, we have a 1.9 2.0 earthquake. Okay? Now, I'm not going to read you all the earthquakes and tremors going up here. Not going to happen. However, I'm going to give you information that you might want to know. For example, this earthquake. A 3.4 small quake. This was felt by people in this area. It's just a small quake. It's also 0.6 miles deep. 0.6 of a mile deep. People felt this. If this had been a deep earthquake, people may not have felt it. Just a small quake. But this was a shallow quake. Shallow quakes can be felt. Okay? Then we go north. This is Sept.18, Alaska. Okay? Just north of Anchorage. 1.7 tremor there. Here, a 1.3 in that same location. Just north of Anchorage here. Okay? Most of these earthquakes are down here, just north of Anchorage here. We have a handful up here in Denali. One of the earthquakes in Denali is a 2.1 earthquake. It is in Denali National Park, and USGS is saying that it's in Denali National Park. Maybe I've kicked a few keisters over at USGS, and maybe they're going to start being honest with where some of these earthquakes are. Or I'm going to continue kicking keisters. I'm going to continue sending emails and other letters that have maybe gotten to the right people. Because USGS has been denying what has actually been going on. This earthquake, just a few months ago, they would have said, oh, this is north of Petersburg, Alaska, or south of Petersburg. They were never being honest. They did not say anything about Denali National Park, and that's actually where this earthquake is. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake. Just north and west of there, and this is, they say this is southeast of Denali. No, it's not. It's northwest of Denali. This is the 1.2 tremor northwest of Denali. Those of you that want to follow this, you can follow it. And you can see that I'm right. USGS hasn't learned anything. They say this is a 1.4 in central Alaska. No. This, well, it is in central Alaska, kind of. Okay? Up here we have a 2.3 near Rampart, Alaska. We don't have any other earthquakes over here in the Arctic Circle area or near the North Shore of Alaska, which is oil and gas pumping operations in northern Alaska. Now, I want to go south here. Before we go any further, I'm going to stop and be over here just northwest of Vancouver and south of Queen Charlotte Island. Why? Because I have some more pictures to show you. How about that? You want to see some pictures, guys? Let's show you some pictures here. Yesterday, there was a 4.8, 5.3 earthquake. They downgraded it from 5.8 all the way down to 4.3. Right here. This is in the Juan de Fuca Fault area. The Juan de Fuca Fault. It's up here in the north part of the Juan de Fuca Fault, right here. northwest of Vancouver and south of Queen Charlotte Island. We have to talk about it. It's a 5.8 earthquake. Okay? Came out as a 6.3, and again, they downgraded it a half magnitude because they can. Because they can. They think that they can just do whatever they want to do. Okay? I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me get out of the USGS map for a minute. Let's get out of the USGS map. At least for no, I'm not going to get out of the USGS map. I'm not done quite yet here. Okay? Okay. I want to show you some earthquakes here. See all these earthquakes here? These are in the area called the Geysers, Sonoma County. Sonoma County, California. This is an area where man has drilled into the surface of the earth, the crust that we walk on, the dirt, the gravel, the rock that we walk on. It's called the crust. Man has drilled into the crust of this earth that we walk on, and they've drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano. This, folks, is Clear Lake volcano. Yes, it is a lake, but it's also a volcano. Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of that volcano to obtain steam to power big, huge turbines to generate electricity. And these people that have built up, it's a huge energy conglomerates, guys. There's 4 or 5 energy conglomerates here that have built this area, generating electricity. The first energy conglomerate was Pacific Gas and Electric. And Rocky Mountain Power owns Pacific Gas and Electric. What am I showing you here? Right here, and I cannot get any closer than this. See all that steam rising there? That, folks, is a line of turbines. 9 turbines in that facility there. All spinning after being heated up with this steam from the volcano, spinning and generating electricity. There are a total of 80 turbines throughout this whole region here in the geysers, encompassing Cobb, California, Anderson, California, and most of Sonoma County. Okay? Most of Sonoma County. Now, I want to show you an earthquake here. This is a 2.1. It's a minor earthquake. For the most part, all we have are tremors and microquakes here at the geysers. Not today. That's a 2.1. This is just almost 1 mile deep. It's 1/10 of a mile short of a mile deep. A 2.1 minor earthquake. This is a 1.1 tremor. Right next to it, a 1.4 tremor. Down here is a 3.5 earthquake. Why am I showing you this? Okay, we spent a lot of time down here in the geysers in the past. There is a method to my madness here. There is a method to my madness, and I want to show you this. They're showing a 3.5 earthquake, a small earthquake. 3.5 is considered to be a small earthquake. Well, folks, I'm telling you right now, they are full of crap. They are literally full of crap. Let me show you something else that you need to see. Okay? Look what else happened here in the geysers today. Okay? Look what else happened here in the geysers today. Look at this. This came from a meteorologist at ABC3 in San Francisco. Folks, this was a lot stronger than a 4.3. Look at this. This came out as a 4.6 moderate earthquake. A 4.6 downgraded to a 3. More than a full percentage point downgrade. What kind of crap is that? It's actually 30% downgrade. Should never have happened. They don't want anyone to know that there's a good sized earthquake here. We have had 4s here in the past. All of a sudden we have another 4.6 here, and they start belly aching about it. USGS immediately turns it into a 3.6. Poor babies. Poor USGS babies. They call themselves scientists, but they're not scientists, they're stupid idiots. Okay? Leave the earthquakes as they are. Stop doctoring the information. I know why they're doing it. They don't want people to be concerned. They don't want people leaving this area. We know darn well what's happening here. This is the geysers area, guys. We're pulling steam from the volcano. And every drill point here, every drill point drilling that hole in the earth that they pull steam out of, every drill point is hit with seismic energy. Seismic energy seeks out these drill points. They're man-made earthquake faults. Man-made earthquake faults. And the seismic energy hits those faults and generates an earthquake. It shatters the rock in the fault zone, causing an earthquake today, a 4.6 earthquake. A 4.6 earthquake. Why are they denying it happened? Why did they downgrade it? There's no reason for it. I'm telling you, there's no reason for it. At all. Not now, not ever. Oh, we don't want to anger people. We don't want to have them uproot their homes and leave because there's going to be major earthquakes. They don't want anybody to know that. At some of the beach places up and down the entire Oregon, California, and Washington coast, there are some people that live there, even the firefighters and police, that never been told that there's going to be an earthquake potential there. Oh, there's not going to be any kind of earthquakes. It's okay. It's safe. It is not. I'm telling you, it is not completely safe. At some point in time, all heck is going to break loose. And that safe thing is going to go out the window. People are going to die. People are going to be injured. How many big quakes do we need to have? Washington has had many large and very strong 6s, as has San Francisco. But we have another big, huge, major earthquake that's going to happen. And there may, in fact, be other large and very strong earthquakes before we get to the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. Okay? I can't predict earthquakes. I know that. I can show you information suggesting what's going to happen. I can do that, and that's exactly what I'm doing. At least I'm being honest with all of you. That's why I ask all of you to share this information worldwide. Your family, your extended family, your neighbors, your friends, your social media contacts, and even the people you work with. Share this information far and wide. Everyone deserves to know what's going on. We can't rely on the agency because they are in bed with politicians. The politicians are there for one reason, to make money. As long as there are people there, they're going to make money. So the politicians are telling USGS to shut up about the earthquakes. Don't tell people that there's going to be a Cascadia quake. Be quiet. Don't tell people that that Cascadia quake is going to be felt all the way down to Mexico. Don't tell people that that Cascadia quake is going to be felt up into Alaska and all up and down the entire west coast of Canada and North America, period. Don't tell them. Don't tell people that the seismic energy is going to hit over just off the coast of Seattle, Washington, and it's going to be felt throughout the entire continent. Throughout the entire United States and Canadian North American continent. That you can take to the bank. You can take that to the bank. At least I'm not going to lie to you. Never have and never will. Okay? Again, the politicians tell USGS, shut up. Why? Why would the politicians do that? Because if the people on the property, the people that live along the coast or anywhere near there, fear an earthquake happening, what are they going to do? They're going to consider boogieing, leaving the area. If they leave the area, what's going to happen? There's not going to be anybody to pay taxes. If there's not anybody living there, the shops and stores are going to go away because nobody's going there to buy anything. So the homes are going to disappear, the shops and stores are going to disappear, the tax base is going to disappear. Who is going to pay the bills? If the tax base is gone, who is going to keep on the stoplights? Who's going to repair the roadways? Who's going to pay for the city staff and government staffs? It's going to go away. If all those people are going to go away, what is the politician also going to do? Goodbye. Their job is in jeopardy and they know it. That's why they're telling USGS not to talk. Keep your mouth shut. Now, it's not the everyday person, the desk jockey, or the scientist that is out in the field. Those people are not the ones we're concerned with. It's upper USGS management. Oh, heaven forbid we tell anybody anything. They don't want this word getting out. That's why we are here, and that's why we are going to stay. Okay? JB Map just gave us $7.70 super chat. Thank you, JB. We appreciate that. He says, Ron, how much damage are these many holes drilled in volcanic areas causing? JB, anytime we have a drill spot, whether it's for oil and gas or steam, everywhere where we have a drill point, that is a hole in the ground. It's a man-made hole in the ground earthquake fault. Seismic energy finds it and fractures the rock around that earthquake fault. Enough seismic energy gets there and it can destroy that whole area. Now, this was at least a 4.6 moderate earthquake over there in the geysers. A 4.6 moderate earthquake. It is highly likely that the drill hole where that energy hit was probably destroyed. That was a moderate shaker. It was a very shallow earthquake. These drill points can go down 7, 10, 15, 20 miles deep. And it's not just that, folks. It's not just that. These drill points, guys, are not just deep, but they're long. They're long. They can go sideways, they can go perpendicular, they can go down like this. Regardless, those drill points can also be destroyed by these earthquakes. The larger seismic energy could actually close down one of those drill point holes where they've been pulling steam out of. If we get a large enough earthquake on one of those oil and gas pumps and jacks over in California or Texas or Oklahoma or Kansas, guess what? The pump and jack that's working there is going to go dry because of the earthquake hitting that hole, and it's no longer going to be a viable hole. In Oklahoma alone, there are 586,000. In Oklahoma alone, there's 586,000 drill points. Here in Cobb, California, I would estimate probably 300 drill points. I've shown you drill points on this show before. With earthquakes as large as we got today, it's a possibility one of those drill points is no more. The shaking may have destroyed that drill point. I don't know for sure, but I will bet on it. I can almost bet on it. Okay. I want to show you a couple other things here. Okay? On this show, we've talked a little bit about politics. We talked a little bit about politics in the past. Why do we talk about politics? Because the people in Washington or wherever these politicians are affecting our lives. Affecting our lives, our families' lives, our lives and our livelihoods, our jobs, and everything that we do. Well, guys, we have a man in power right now in Washington, D.C. He's basically worthless. He is senile. He's got dementia. And if you're a Democrat, I don't want to call you bad, because you are not bad. You are not the one that put him there. His handlers put him there. He was too old to become president in the beginning. Now Joseph Biden is a feeble old man. He can't even read writing on a cue card that they give him. He sees a few things written down, he may say a few words, and then he gets all jumbled up and tired. He's not able to do his job, yet he is the president. I think he's probably on some kind of medication to make him more lucid for the time being. I think for the most part, he doesn't even get out of the White House residence until at least 9 a.m. in the morning. And I believe he might spend a lot more time there than we can even think about. Who is running the country? Mr. Biden's handlers are running the country. Okay? I've called a spade a spade. Democrat communists. Democrat communists are alive and well here in the United States, and they are running this country. Now, the New York Times has spilled the beans. This was from an article that I found earlier in the weekend, this past weekend. The New York Times inadvertently revealed the Democrat strategy for 2024. They're planning for Biden to die in office so they can make Joe into a martyr and bring out the sympathy vote, all the while throwing Republican strategy into disarray. That is according to a Democrat analyst at the New York Times. At first, I was not even going to show you this, but I vetted it. The New York Times article spanned about 10 pages, and I didn't want to show 10 pages here. But I think this is good enough for government work. What do you think? Okay? Washington Post opinion. President Biden should not run again in 2024. Washington Post. The New York Times. 2024's field of nightmares. Okay? Not even the huge Democrat news lines are saying that Biden will be in control enough and win the presidency back in 2024. I honestly believe that what is actually going to happen is they're going to take him down, or something's going to happen to him. If he dies in office, yes, he will be a martyr for the cause. Then it's possible that someone like Newsom from California could be elected. I don't think so. A lot of stuff is happening here in the United States, political-wise. President Trump is already turning the field upside down. The very politicians, the New York Attorney General, for example, the Georgia State Attorney General, and the other dirtbags in Washington and various places that have filed indictments against President Trump are finding out they're full of crap. Their indictments are starting to make them look bad. One judge has already said, guess what? It's done. It's done. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. There's a very good chance that the indictments are going to go away. Even the latest one over in Georgia. Because Fannie Willis herself got elected by fraud. By fraud. I believe sometime in the next few months, all these indictments are going away. Former President Trump is very popular. He's got a 50 percentage point advantage right now on Biden. And nobody else even comes close. Not even Newsom. Okay? You can put your own thinking caps on. But as I get information and I vet it, I will pass it on to you. Now, getting back to earthquake and disaster preparedness. Okay? I showed you some of the earthquakes that have hit in the Pacific Ring of Fire. There's very little other earthquakes that have happened today around the world because USGS is not showing them. Yes, I have a great deal of the almost all the earthquakes on my phone here and on my tablet. My phone and my tablet. I'm not going to get into this because it's still September and we're in Emergency Preparedness Month. And I feel obligated to give you some information. Okay? How do you protect your cell phone from crap that the government may try to do to you? i.e. the October 4th EAS. The October 4th EAS from FEMA. Are they going to try to implant stuff in your phone to take your phone down? Or some other nefarious thing? Let me show you how you can protect your phone from the government and how you may be able to protect your phone from an EMP. An electromagnetic pulse can either come from a solar pulse from the sun, or it can come from a BOMB, from a missile from Russia or from Iran. Speaking of Iran, did you guys hear this weekend? Mr. Biden gave Iran $6.6 billion, and in turn, Iran allowed 6 of our U.S. citizens that have been held captive in Iran to walk away. Yes, Biden paid for their release. Biden paid for those citizens' release. Wonderful man, this president. Unreal. Susan Sater says strange dollar amount. I agree. Anyway, let's talk about saving your cell phone or even your tablet. Okay? Now, I brought enough aluminum foil up here to show you how to protect your phone. You can do the same thing with your tablet or your laptop or whatever you want to do. You can make your own Faraday cage, guys. What you need to do is get a piece of aluminum foil and wad it up. Not tightly. You don't want to tightly wad it up. Wad it up in a very loose manner. Then, after you do that, what are you left with? What do you think all these little ridges are? What do you think they do? Why is it important to have these little ridges here? Why do you think we have all these little ridges here? There's a good reason. If we were to have an EMP, or if the government was going to try to shut our cell phones down and destroy them, they could put out electronic pulse and do the same thing. Knock it out. Well, tonight, I'm showing you right now how to stop that. Okay? Get your aluminum foil here. Look at those wrinkles in the foil. This is going to be your answer to a Faraday cage for your phone. And you can do this with almost every other electrical device that you own. Okay? Earlier this year, we talked about taking a garbage can, an aluminum garbage can, and lining the inside of it with cardboard, thick cardboard. Big, huge piece at the bottom of the garbage can, the entire inside of the garbage can with cardboard, thick cardboard, and the same thing on the lid of the garbage can lid. Inside lid with cardboard. You want to make sure that the electrical magnetic pulses that the government or the missile might release can't get through that garbage can and your insulated cardboard. In this case, that's what we're doing with this. You've heard of stealth technology? That's what we're doing with this aluminum foil. That's why I wrapped it up. Cause there to be stealth folds in here that will repel any kind of energy. All this is doing is it's going to make your phone impervious to any kind of electrical thing that's going to happen. What you want to do is pull this foil back out and be able to wrap it around your phone. Just like this. Wrap it tightly around your phone. Okay? Make sure that your phone is wrapped up, where there's no holes here. Make sure your phone is entirely wrapped up. Then, just for kicks and giggles, you're going to want to do it again. Just to make sure that your phone Faraday cage that we're building here does not allow any stray electrical signals to get in your aluminum foil and make your Faraday cage for your phone fail. Guess what? Now I've done that. I've wrapped this phone up tight. If you were to try to call this phone right now, you would not get me to ring it. Excuse me, you would not be able to reach my phone because it's wrapped up here. It would not be ringing at all. Why? How is that possible? Every one of these ridges here of foil is defeating that signal that's incoming to my phone. Okay? Your phone is impervious to any stray electrical signals. It's impervious. It can't happen. It can't happen. Okay? Now, you could do this too when you go to bed at night. If you don't want these bozos being able to reactivate your phone while you're asleep, you could wrap it up in foil, couldn't you? Yes, that might be a solution. That could be a solution. Okay? That could be a solution, because you can turn off your phone, but anymore, turning off your phone is doing nothing, because they can activate your phone remotely. It's proven. It's a proven fact that these cellular companies can operate your phone remotely, and so can the government. If they have your telephone number, they can activate your phone remotely. They can turn it on. You can't take the battery out like we used to do, because now these batteries are impacted inside the phone where you can't get at them. So you can't undo the batteries. Okay? You can turn it off, but they can keep it on. And to a certain extent, your phone is always on. Now, what I do at night, I put my face of my phone flat down on my nightstand. I put it flat down on my nightstand. And over here. See the camera there on my phone? Guess what? Now I've stopped my camera. And in fact, let me show you this. I've got a little bag, and I can put my phone like this. They can't use my camera against me. They're not going to see anything in my bedroom or my office or wherever I leave the phone there. I can keep it charged, but they can't use my camera against me. They can't. They're not going to have access. What I'm saying, when you go to bed at night, lay your phone flat down and put something over the other side so your cameras are not available to anybody that might be able to do it. Okay? Just a preparedness item. Just a preparedness item. Now, I told you at the beginning of this program to get out some paper and pen, because I was going to give you information on a 96-hour emergency kit. We talked about 72-hour kits. We talked about emergency preparedness kits. This kit is for at least 96 hours. Okay? Hacksaw says that aluminum foil wrap is a poor man's Faraday cage. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's why I want to show it to you. Okay? Now, JB Map says I have no hope of privacy between having phones, computers, and mainly Alexa device in most of my rooms. I'm done. I refuse to have Alexa. I refuse to have Siri or anything else that can be used against me. I will not do it. I have gotten chastised for not turning on Google Assistant. I had Google Assistant on about a year or so ago, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Google Assistant would ask me questions. What are you doing? How can I help you, Ron? How did Google Assistant get my name? How did the computer decide who I was? Interesting. Catherine Sigerson Cass says, I have no talking things, just my phone. You can get, Linda Covington says, get rid of your electronic smart devices. My television downstairs is a smart device. A smart device. Guess what? It also has a camera. It also has a microphone. Guess what? You can disable those where they're not available to anybody who would spy on you. You can disable your smart television's camera and the microphone. They can't listen into your home. They can't watch you do anything. That's why they were so adamant about making sure we had smart devices, smart TVs. The larger the better. Okay? Menacing Muskrat says, I have an aluminum garbage can I use for oats. But now it will be used for my electronics. And I'm glad. That's why I'm trying to teach you these things. That's exactly why I'm trying to teach you these things. So you'll have this information ready. So you can start now. Start now, guys. Juby Joe says, I used to use foil for my cards shopping at Galleria in Houston. Saw a guy stationed and surmising the flock. Thought, are you good or bad? Yeah, totally. Tin foil bedroom. Yeah, Captain Sigerson says tin foil bedroom. One of my other friends the other day, I'm also a member of a Christian group that talk frequently together, and they keenly said, how about a tinfoil hat? Oh, you can make one. You can make one. Are you going to go walking around all day, every day, wearing this tinfoil hat? No. That would be no. That'd definitely be a no. Okay? Do what you have to do. Kimberly Hopkins is asking a question, Ron, how much time, if any, will we get if this happens? How much time will you get? If you're talking about what I think you are, about earthquakes and stuff, I don't know when the earthquake's going to happen. If you're talking about the time before the tsunami, the Cascadia megathrust earthquake's going to happen, and within 15 or 20 minutes after the shaking, you're going to get the tsunami. And the tsunami is going to go at least 5 miles inland. At least 5 miles inland. Probably further than that. Okay? Probably further than that. Okay. Now get your paper and pens ready. I'm going to give you information. Okay? This 96-hour emergency kit should be individually tailored to your needs, to meet your basic survival needs for you and your family for at least 4 days. Most families prefer to store their emergency supplies in one location that is relatively safe, easily accessible if evacuation is required. Any of these items may be stored in a 32-gallon trash can. A 32-gallon trash can that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or some other hardware store or home center. Okay? So a garden-sized trash can, a suitcase, a duffel bag, a footlocker, or even a backpack. Okay, let's talk about emergency needs. Let's talk about emergency needs. Emergency Preparedness Instruction Manual. An Emergency Preparedness Instruction Manual. And I should have pulled mine out from over here. I've got it, all my emergency books right here. But I've also got an emergency, extreme emergency survival book. I've also got it on my NIC book, okay, on my digital book from Barnes & Noble. All of my books are on my NIC book. This is pretty heavy, but it's very good. Okay, yes, I refer to it frequently here for our programs because I want you to have specific information. The first thing you need is have an Emergency Preparedness Instruction Manual. Second, a first aid kit. Third, sleeping bags and blankets, space blankets. Okay? Extra eyeglasses or contacts. Extra clothing, including socks, pants, shirts, blouses, socks, shoes, boots. And don't forget a hat. Don't forget your four-legged family members or two-legged family members that need a jacket or a sweater. Don't forget them. And also, one of the other absolutely necessary things you're going to want to have is money, cash. Cash. Because your ATM cards are going to be worthless. Worthless. Food and water. Non-perishable food enough for at least 4 days. This is a 96-hour supply kit. Suggested ready-to-eat goods in watertight containers. Canned meats, juice, fruits, vegetables, powdered milk. Infant care foods, crackers, peanut butter, freeze-dried and dehydrated goods. Some of you we've talked about MREs. Some MREs are fairly decent. Others are gross. Fuel energy bars. Fuel energy bars. Granola. Flavored water packages. Spice containers for salt and pepper and oregano. Those kind of things. Spice containers. Can opener. I'd say have 2 of those. A camping plate, cup and utensils. Folded aluminum foil. Water storage. 1 gallon per person daily. Water purification filtration. Water bottle. Water bottle, guys. Mine's got a filter in it now. How about that? I've got several of these around the house. Okay? Tools. Tools and information. How about a utility knife? How about a utility knife like this? A multi-purpose knife. Okay? These are great. I have several different kinds here, as well as a straight edge here. Okay? A folding knife that I can also attach to my clothing. There's a clip that I can attach to my pockets. Everybody around here has them. Everybody around North Carolina I've ever seen has them. Kimberly Hopkins just gave us another $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Kim. We appreciate that. God bless you for that. Okay. Tools and information. A utility knife. A multi-tool. A flashlight, guys. A flashlight. I've told you about my Halo XT flashlight that I got from 4 Patriots. This is a great flashlight. Okay? I've talked a lot about this over the years, and I'll continue to talk about it. The Halo XT flashlight is probably the best and most universal, widely accepted, and greatly used flashlights in the world. Emergency candles. Emergency candles. A hand crank flashlight, batteries and battery packs, pens and papers and permanent markers, copies of important documents, your marriage certificate, your insurance, your mortgage, your auto insurance and ownership information, your driver's license, your birth certificate. Put those all in gallon baggies, Ziploc gallon baggies, and put those copies of them in your emergency kit. Don't put the originals, put the copies. The originals should be in a safe. They should be in a safe like mine are. Okay? A battery crank operated weather radio. A battery crank operated weather radio. I've shown you this before. Okay? A battery crank operated radio. Okay? A list of important addresses and phone numbers. A list of important addresses and phone numbers. Yes, you could have those on your phone, but I would transfer those names and phone numbers and addresses also over to a paper. A paper. Because if your phone dies, your information's gone. And I had my last phone that literally died. It was worthless. And now I only have a handful of numbers that transferred, and I've had to pick up other numbers. Okay? Fortunately, I have other phones that I did not give away or throw away that I can get numbers from. Fortunately. Okay. Important addresses and phone numbers. Work gloves. A toolkit. A signal mirror. A whistle. A whistle, guys. And it can be just a very simple I thought I saw one of my I thought I had my simple whistle in my desk drawer. I think I may have taken it out and put it in one of my backpacks. But a whistle. A chemical light stick. Those chemical light sticks are invaluable. Use them for a lot of different things. A bandana. I have several bandanas. You can use them if you're really hot. Put them with water in it and put it on your skin. It'll help keep you cool. You also put them in with some water and throw them in the freezer and freeze them up to also help keep you cool. There are also some bandanas that have some stuff in them. You can throw them in the microwave for 15 seconds and heat them up to use as a warm compress. Okay? So bandanas are great. Rain ponchos. I have about 6 rain ponchos. Okay? Paracord. Paracord and rope. I've got some paracord over on the shelf here in my office here. Paracord. We talked about 602 paracord, 502 paracord. Those are great. They're parachute cord, parachute rope. You go by paracord. They're very inexpensive. You can get like 600 or 900 feet for $5. Paracord. Also have rope. I've got 250 bundles of rope, meaning I have 100 feet of rope. Duct tape. Duct tape, guys. I've got all kinds of duct tape. Razor blades. Razor blades. Razor blades can be very important. Guess what? I have one knife right here. What is this? It's a knife made out of a straight edge razor. A knife made out of a straight edge razor. Razor blades can be used for a lot of different things. Protection. You can use them to cut all kinds of things. Be careful with razor blades or any kind of knife because you could cut yourself. Okay? Waterproof, windproof matches. Waterproof, windproof matches. I have a bunch of matches in a weatherproof, waterproof container. Put them in waterproof containers. Yes, you can put them in these Ziploc baggies, the sandwich baggies. Make sure it's Ziploc though. Okay? A lighter. I don't smoke. I don't smoke, but I have about, I don't know, I have two or three lighters floating around here in my office, and at least 4 or 5 in my emergency preparedness kit. Lighters. Lighters. Flint and steel. I have several flint and steel kits around. Okay? A tarp. I have several tarps. I recommend at least 3 tarps. 1 to put under your tent, 2 to possibly put over your tent, and a 3rd one you might want to walk on to keep mud and crap out of your tent, or even another one to make a canopy that you can sit under or stand under to keep the rain off of you. I've got those as well. Let's talk about sanitation. How about 5 or 6 gallon buckets? 5 or 6 gallon buckets. Go over to Home Depot. They sell 5 gallon buckets. Buy one of those toilet lids and toilet seats. Another $5 or $6, $7. So now you got a bucket, you got some black plastic bags to put inside the bucket to keep all your stuff inside that black plastic bag, and maybe have some kitty litter or sawdust that you can put over it to keep it from stinking. When it gets to a certain fill part, tie that plastic bag up and dispose of it. dispose of it. Okay? Make yourself a porta potty out of those. Porta potty bags, black trash bags. Okay? Latex-free gloves. Latex-free gloves. I don't know how many latex gloves I have. I've got a bunch. Okay? Now, we talked about those diapers you put over your face. That N, the N and the two other numbers there, I think all of you know what I'm talking about. N respirators. N, two numbers, respirators. Okay? They're particulate respirators. Those are thick enough to keep out most particles in the air that would be deadly or harmful to you. That N and the other two number respirator may save your life. Those other surgical stuff, they're trash. They're trash. After 10 or 15 minutes, even around surgeons in the operating rooms, those masks are worthless. All you have to have is a little body odor, body fluids on those face diapers the surgeon uses, and it's worthless. Okay? How about toilet paper rolls? I have a bunch of toilet paper rolls. I buy them in big, huge bundles, if you know what I mean. That's where Costco and the other Walmart brand. That's where I get the big, huge bundles of TP and also paper towels. Okay? Facial tissue. Facial tissue. Floss. Toothbrushes, toothpaste. Combs and razors. Soap. Sanitizer. Sanitizer, waterless sanitizer. Wet wipes. I got wet wipes here in my office. I've got a wet wipe in 2 of my 4 totes. And I've got wet wipes in the bathroom and in my bedroom. I've got another one in the kitchen. Okay? Wet wipes are essentials. Okay? Wet wipes, deodorant. Feminine hygiene products. Chapstick. Nail clippers, lotion. When it comes to first aid, pain relievers. Pain relievers. Rubbing alcohol, cotton balls and swabs, antibacterial ointment, anti-itch cream, roller gauze and pads. Roller gauze and pads. I've got a lot of that, and so should you. Triangle bandages. Triangle bandages. Why do we need triangle bandages? Okay? What have we talked about in the past that we could use a triangle bandage for? How could we use one of those? How about if we wanted or had someone with a broken arm, or someone that may have possibly sprained their arm so bad they couldn't use it, and it was even hurting them so much to even move it at all? Use that triangle bandage as an arm brace, holding your arm here and wrapping it around and tying the knot behind your neck. You will hold your arm in a pretty safe area. You could also go one step further of inside that triangle bandage that's cradling your arm, you put some heavy duty cardboard in there to help protect your arm as well. Okay? Support your arm there. I always keep cardboard around to make splints for your hand, splint for your wrist in case you break or injure your wrist in any way, shape, or form. You can wrap your wrist fairly tight using that cardboard and then wrapping it with the gauze wrap. Okay? Just giving you ideas. Safety pins. Safety pins. I've got a dozen safety pins here, right here on my desk. I keep them here. I keep safety pins. I think I've got 2 sets of safety pins in 2 of my totes. I've got a safety pin in my 72-hour kit. I've got safety pins all over the house here. Scissors. Make sure you have scissors in your emergency preparedness kit. Laxatives and antidiarrheal. Laxatives and antidiarrheal medicine. Allergy medication. Allergy medication, guys. How about a thermometer? How about several thermometers? Both the one you can use orally and the other one where you can put it where the sun don't shine. That gives you a better temperature reading of your body. Okay? Thermometers. Medical adhesive tape. The white medical adhesive tape. Tweezers. Now folks, you might be blown away about how many tweezers that I have. In fact, I've got to take some of my tweezers out here. I found them on my desk. I've got 4 sets of tweezers on my desk right here. 4 sets of tweezers here on my desk. I'm going to take 3 of those and put them in my emergency kits. I think I've already got 2 of them there, and I'm going to give them 3 more to my emergency kits. Splints. I talked about using heavy cardboard as splints and then wrapping your arm or your wrist, your hand with this splint and medical gauze tape, and it makes a great splint. Heavy duty string. Heavy duty string. Adhesive bandages. Adhesive bandages. Okay? Super glue. Super glue. How about some moleskin? Some moleskin. It's great. How about temporary dental crown paste? Temporary dental crown paste. You lose one of your crowns on your tooth, whether it's an aluminum crown or a solid crown, you lose it, all of a sudden, even breathing in, you have all kinds of pain because that new nerve in the tooth is exposed. Go to Walmart for $3 or $4, buy that dental temporary crown paste and put it in there. Tap it in there with your finger, and all of a sudden you've got a temporary crown for maybe hours or days. And with that crown kit, probably good for a little while. Okay? A CPR MASK. A CPR MASK. I've got 6 of those. Latex and non-latex gloves. I've got a ton of gloves. Other items to consider. Again, this is for your emergency preparedness kit. We're talking at least 96 hours. Mine's well beyond that. Other things to consider. Stress reducers, games, books, puzzles, magazines, and crafts. Oh, how I love all of those things. Magazines and crafts and books and puzzles and games. Especially for your little kids. Your dogs and cats, can't forget their toys. You definitely do not want a dog or cat mad at you. Play with them. Don't forget them as important individuals in your family, because that's exactly what they are. those four-legged ankle biters I have, no, they don't bite anybody, but they're four-legged noisemakers. I love them. Make sure you have food, make sure you have beds, make sure you have their favorite toys, make sure you have their blankie or their sweaters or their jackets, make sure you have little shoes for them so that you don't get their feet or paws very cold or very wet or very hot on hot pavement days. Okay? Shoes for your kids. How about travel size sewing kit? I made my own. I bought myself a plastic tote. It lays flat. It's just maybe bigger than my hand here. With all my different kinds of threads and sewing needles and little doodads and that, I've got my own sewing kit. I've also got a small pair of scissors in there. So your sewing kit. Zip ties. I bought a bunch of zip ties this past year. You can never go very far without zip ties. Always have plenty of zip ties handy. Now, I brought one out to show you. This is a USB stick. A hard drive. A hard drive. With these USB sticks, you can put photos and documents and put them in your pocket. If necessary, put them in a plastic Ziploc bag so they're water resistant. You don't want to get moisture around these things because they become inoperable. But make sure you have maybe a half dozen of these USB sticks. Sometimes some organizations have given me USB sticks. Other times I bought a gig or 2 or 6 gig sticks. They're great. I have a 6 gig stick for my DVR. Yes, I've got a DVR. I fix it so I can accept it and put in one of these smart sticks, and I can record movies off the television with my DVR that I had made. Okay? I don't have money to go out and buy a DVR. But these little hand drives are great. Okay? Again, you can save important photos and documents on those things, and a lot of other information as well. Special medications. High blood pressure, if you're diabetic or whatever the case is. Special medication. Make sure you have plenty of special medication. Again, don't forget your kids, your pets. 96-hour kit and first aid kit for your pets. Also, how about chemical hand warmers? Chemical hand warmers. I've got many of those too. Now, does anybody have any questions for me? That was short and sweet and to the point. Linda Covington says a container that floats. I agree. Those would be great. Okay? Juvie Joe says those are little buddies. Yeah. My kids, I don't have my kids right here, but I now keep my door open because they figure out how to push it open, so I keep my door to my office open. Okay? Any questions about anything I've given you? I want to make sure you're ready for almost anything. That's the purpose of National Preparedness Month. That's why I kept this National Preparedness information right front and center. Okay? September of every year is National Preparedness Month, and many other countries also recognize that. Do you have any questions for me at all? Okay? Do you have any good questions for me? Questions, anyone? Questions, anyone? got 123 thumbs up, which I greatly appreciate. If you have not already given us a thumbs up, please do before you leave tonight. It would be greatly appreciated. If you have any comments after we go off the air, put your comments down below this program in the comments section. That's one of the things YouTube looks for. They look for how many comments we get, if we get any at all. Please, folks, make sure you stay here for the good majority of the program. If you don't, you're missing out on everything. If you're here for 15 minutes and we got a 2-hour program, we're here for an hour and we've only got an hour program and you're only here for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, you've lost it all. Unfortunately, people do that. If you're not here, you shouldn't even be here. I want to get people here that are here for a reason, to help themselves and their families. That is why I do these programs every day for all of you. One whom Jesus loves says, learn natural remedies. I agree. Okay? Elizabeth is asking, what types of water filtration system do you recommend? Live straws. I'm heavily into live straws. I also got this from another company. One of you guys sent this to me, and this is great. Okay? It's got a great big huge filter there, and it's got like about 20 ounces of water. And I can sit there and suck on that all during the program, and so far I've only used about that much water here during the program. Sometimes I use a lot more than that. You can get that filter from this company right here, from Puritan. Get that filter from there. They're good filters. The water tastes great. It gets 99% of the crap out of there. Heavy metals and everything else. Hurricane Heather says, I keep getting kicked out of the chat. I don't know why that happens, Heather. God bless you for that. God bless you for that. I'm also looking for at least another mod or two. Those of you that might be interested in being mod, send me an email letting me know of your interest and if you've had any experience being a moderator on another program or whatever. I'm looking for a couple more mods here. I need some mods to be able to help govern this program, keep it on the air, to keep trolls out, and make sure we're talking about things that we're talking about and not all over the place. I want to make sure people are talking about what we're talking about. It's very important. Cassandra says this is a list that you would have if you don't need to bug out. Well, if you needed to bug out, you could use that too. Okay? Do whatever you need to do to be safe and have the things you need. This 96-hour list you can use to bug out too. Okay? You need to do a show on what you take with you in a backpack. I'll do that. I'll do that. I've got a go bag and I've also got a 72-hour kit. Okay? I use those. I use those. One whom Jesus loves says keep items that have multi-uses. Apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, baking soda, organic soaps, teas, herbs, foods. Are nutrient dense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hurricane Heather says she has a couple people in mind for a mod. That'd be great. Thank you so much. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here and let you guys go. I hope you have a great night. I thoroughly enjoy being with you or I wouldn't even be here. I love talking with you. I love sharing events and interest things with you. That way we're all benefiting. Okay? And yes, sometimes I do go off on a long tangent. Linda Covington says, sometimes I go off on a tangent and rant. Sorry. So do I. So do I. We all do that. Hurricane Heather says, can we do a devotional, please? Yes, I'm ready for you. I've got it. Planned it hours ago. Folks, I'm going to go over to the second epistle of Timothy. In our Sunday school class, we're talking about 2 Corinthians now, and I'm usually all over the scriptures, showing you scriptures, reading scriptures, all over the place. But specifically, we're in 2 Corinthians in Sunday school for the next week or so. But here in Timothy today, okay? Timothy, there's one scripture in 2 Timothy here, okay? 2 Timothy chapter 1. In chapter 1, Christ brings immortality and eternal life through the gospel. Be strong in the faith. Specifically in verse 7. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of a love and a sound mind. For God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Isn't that just right up our alley right now? I don't want to ever scare anybody, but I am trying to always give you information that you can use, so you don't have to be scared. We're giving you information you can use even on an everyday basis to be prepared, because life is going to throw you all kinds of stones. And if you're not ready, those stones could hurt you and stop you. And I want you to be unstoppable. And I think that's exactly what the Lord wants as well. Folks, I love you and I care about you. I hope you have a great night and a better tomorrow. If you have any questions, email me or message me. Okay? Email me or message me. Heather, if you've got some ideas for people that might be good mods, let me know. Or if anybody here would like to be a mod, let me know. We've had a couple of my dear friends that have fallen off the program and get to the program occasionally now that were my mods. Negotiator, who lives in Arizona, is one of my dearest friends. He was a mod. I don't see Rob52 in here tonight. He's probably busy with his family and wife tonight, and that's all right. But I want to make sure that all of you know how much each and every one of us cares for you. We do. Love you so very much. Folks, in closing, please be cognizant of everything around you. Things around you can hurt you. We don't want that to happen. Know what's going on around you. Keep your eyes and head on a swivel. Pray. Be vigilant in praying. The Lord's with you. Read your scriptures. I've got scriptures sitting here in my office. I've got scriptures sitting in my living room. I got scriptures downstairs I got scriptures in my bedroom and downstairs in my living room. I've got scriptures everywhere. Because if I get a hair out, oh, I gotta go look at this. They're right there. They're right there. I love my scriptures. When it comes to your emergency kit, don't forget to take your scriptures. Okay? I love you guys. I hope you have a great night and a better tomorrow. If anything would happen between now and tomorrow evening when we come on the air, as soon as the information becomes available, I'll be back here to tell you about it. Take care, guys. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. Good night, everybody. Much love. Pass this on to everybody around you. Share this program far and wide. Good night, everybody.